the legend, Lou Orazio. Man, it's good to see you. And Lou, you look great, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And I love your background. And before the end of the interview, we're gonna have to get the full pan because this man is fighting. He is the fighting Irishman, I think. Lou, it's good to see you. So the Adult Baseball League, near and dear to my heart. I only played one season, but it was an important one. It was the first season, and my arm still hurts from that. But the Adult Baseball League, it's going, and it's starting up Sunday, right?
Right. I don't want to make you feel old, but this is our 11th season.
You succeeded, but that's okay. That's okay. So and you have what, 5 different games happening on Sunday?
5 games on Sunday, and we have 11 teams. 4 in the younger league and 7 in the older league, the 35 league. And players can still sign up and be picked up until July 1st.
All right, so signups can happen. I mean, basically, it's open enrollment as far as that goes.
Right.
So
Right.
the season is going, but if someone is interested, because a lot of times in March people aren't thinking about baseball as much, and then all of a sudden you get into May and the weather is nice and people see players out there playing some ball, they get excited, they can still sign up. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we've had a lot of problems with the COVID, obviously. So some parks weren't open, like Renfrew, and last year we played half a season, and there were several parks not open.
So Renfrew and Adams was closed, but it's open this year now.
It opens May 9th.
All right. So looking at the fields, and I know, so one of the fields, and I always enjoyed playing on the Crosby Elementary School field. It's a great field. Of course, the only thing is you lose a lot of balls there in the woods there.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if we got to get that fence higher or the backstop higher or something.
Home plate closer to the fence.
That would work. That would work too.
Right.
But from what I understand, you also have some ceremonies for those who were lost before the season, players who did play in years past.
Yes. Tomorrow we're going to hold ceremonies both at Great Barrington for the BBA Great Barrington game and at the Dalton Legion. And for Alex Colvin, who passed away this past year, and Mark Mesery, who passed away recently.
Very recently. And I did not know Alex, but I certainly knew Mark, and he was a shining light. And I think we're all full of mourning for that. That was quite a loss to that family. So we wish them and Alex's family the very best. And yeah, I mean, this season, 11-year, man, time does fly. And it's interesting, Lou, because now there are the 2 different age categories. So you have it's 35 plus,
35 plus, and 20
30
plus,
and then 20 plus. So you have those 2, and even if you're over 35, you can still play in the younger one. It doesn't go the other way around.
Yes.
So, right?
We have several guys who do that.
Yeah, because they're probably a higher level of.
It's more competitive in the 20 and 35. It's more recreational.
So 7 teams in the 35 plus. So that is interesting to me because, when you started it, maybe you thought, oh, this is going to be these kids just out of college, a bunch of these ringers playing. And there are those good players who are, in their early 20s, mid 20s, but there's more teams at the 35 plus. I don't know if we ever expected that would be the case.
Well, part of the reason for that is that the league is 11 years old now. And a lot of those guys who were 25, 26 are now 35. So
you raise a good point. And I think that also is a testament to the success of the league, because you start and you plant a seed, and wow, so these players have been there from their 20.
We still got guys like Tom Ingersoll. You know Tom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, he's still there. 11 years later, he's now in his late 40s, and he's still playing. As a matter of fact, the oldest player we got in the league is 63.
No kidding. No
Yes,
kidding. That's amazing. And Tom's also a great guitarist as well.
yes, he
I
is.
know. But what a talented guy. So and that team, and now Tom is on the Great Barrington team,
Great Barrington Millers.
and the Millers were sort of a great start to the league because I
They
believe
were.
that team had played in other leagues prior
had
to the
played-
Berkshire Adult Baseball League.
They had played in Albany in the Twilight League, but it got to the point where they're traveling to Albany for 3-night games a week, and it takes you an hour and a half to get over there, and then an hour and a half after the game, and the game started at 7:30, so it was after midnight when you got home.
That's quite the thing. That would be quite the obligation to be able to do that
Yes.
3 nights a week. And so, just traveling to Pittsfield or so you have the Great Barrington team. There are probably a few Pittsfield teams. You have a Northern Berkshire team, I assume, or a couple.
We have teams in Great Barrington, Lee, Dalton. We have 1, 2, 3 teams in Dalton.
You got to be kidding me.
No,
Oh my gosh.
no. In Pittsfield, we have 2 teams. In Adams, we have 1 team, and then we have a Northern Berkshire team, and then we have 1 North Adams team.
Holy cow. So it really is, man, Dalton, who knew the hotbed of adult baseball.
Part of the reason for that is the fact that we were able to make promises to the Dalton American Legion, and they gave us a field that would be our field, and we wouldn't have to share it with anybody because it was just a wreck. It hadn't been used for 20 years. And we rebuilt the field and built up the fences and the mound and the plate and moved everything. And now everybody wants to play there. As a matter of fact, Nakona's going to play there.
That's a great story because we know it hasn't always been a bowl of cherries getting fields in Pittsfield. And with all due respect to the fact that there are high school teams and there used to be Legion teams. I don't know if they're Legion teams anymore, but looking at it, there are limited numbers of fields, but you take care of the fields and
we take care of the field.
And I think that's really, really important when, and I think that needs to be taken into consideration. And I know the youth leagues, of course, always, that's where there's a lot of support and the parents and so forth. So, maybe politically, there's an advantage for the youth sports, but at the end of the day, we've talked about this. There are taxpayers who are playing adult baseball league, and again, you take care of the fields, and not that the other leagues don't, but you do a great job with that. So I always found it unfortunate that it was more of a challenge being able to play on more of the Pittsfield fields. I mean, why not on the Buddy Pellerin field at Clap Park? Why not, playing at Taconic High School, which is a nice field. They have a brand new fence out there and so forth. So, why not?
Well, we have all of our work is, even though we've fixed a lot of things and put dugouts in at the Dalton, which they never had before. This is all work that's done by my volunteers, my ground crew with Mike Burns and Jeff Aldridge and Jeff Wasick and Tommy Bishop. And those guys, all volunteer time, and they're bringing in backhoes and everything else. They get backhoes donated so we can fix the field. And now we got Wacona playing there this year, and they're going to play on Tuesdays and Fridays. So it's a point where everybody wants to use it, but they got to come to us now, and at least we have a home field.
It's nice to have a home field, right? It's
really nice to have, because we can make up games there any night of the week.
Remember way back in the day, I don't know if they still play there, but we used to play at Herberg Middle School. That's where the PHS JV used to play. I don't know if anyone's playing on that field anymore, but
no, they just use it for practice. We didn't mind using it, but we'd fix it, and then everybody else would show up and want to practice on it. And I'd say, I'd call the park department, and they say, Well, you got to let them have it.
I,
Wait a minute, he did the work on it.
I know, it's like you know, build it and they will come. Well,
Yeah,
we didn't mean build it and they will come and then we get kicked out.
and
It's
take
not supposed
over.
to work that way.
Yes, right.
So wow, okay, that's yeah, we gotta fix that. But it would be nice for you to have a home field in Pittsfield.
Oh, we'd love it.
And let's continue working on that. But as it is, I mean, this league is flourishing. I'm so happy that you know, and like I said, my arm still hurts from when I played. And I think what was the they said, hey, Kroll has a curveball and a by the end of the season and a straight pitch because there was no fastball.
Well, I don't want to spread any rumors, but I just heard from Pittsfield Airport that the ball was hit off of you, still hasn't landed.
It's still airborne. I love it. I love it. All right, now switching gears. Now
Yes.
we've talked about bowling a little bit, and you have been passionate about bowling and a big organizer for some very large bowling events, state championships, things of that nature in Pittsfield in years past. So this is an economic development situation, in my opinion, but that right now there is no 10-pin bowling in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's a shame because, you know, we still have the high school bowling league. Matt Filio and I are trying to keep it going for the kids in high school. We've got hundreds of kids in our league. We got 100, I think it's 153 we had 2 years ago. Last year we had to cancel, obviously, because the schools were all closed down.
Sure.
Matt and I are trying very hard to keep it going, but the bowling alley in Pittsfield, you know, I don't understand. You got a area of 40,000 people and they want to sell it to a pot place, and now they're having all kinds of permit problems and things like that. But we need bowling here. So many of the candlepin lanes and the 10-pin lanes have gone out over the years, and we need something for the kids to do.
And I think there's only that one candlepin lane left, right? The one that's next to Ken's Bowl, right?
Right, Imperial.
Okay, so Imperial is pretty much all we got left at this point.
Right.
And of course, that's not the traditional bowling, as people know. The 10-pin is the big ball.
Yeah.
And I'm no bowling expert, I can tell you that. But I may have broken 150 one time in my life. But I can tell you that yeah, I mean, that's a lot of kids. And so if you're trying to keep it going, where are they bowling right now?
Right now we're bowling. We're going to bowl this year at the Cove in Mount Greylock and go back and forth. But a lot of the kids are going over to East Greenbush and over to Albany and Rensselaer. And a very important thing that comes out of our league, our high school league especially, we've got several kids in the last few years that have gotten full scholarships for bowling. They go to college for bowling. They get full scholarships. They go to national tournaments and for regional tournaments, and that's all part of the growing up process. And that bowling is something they can do for a lifetime.
Sure.
Not like other sports.
And so these scholarships, I mean, again, I mean, to me, it, you know, how many players come out of the Berkshires in sports, right? And you know, we've had our share. But when it comes down to it, if you have a sport that has a good number of people, and I used to say this about, like, say, cross country and track, we would have a sort of higher percentage of kids come out and be able to run at Division I schools, that sort of thing. So that's a sport that you want to cultivate even further. Bowling, yeah, I mean, if you have opportunities to get scholarships and help families out because kids have dedicated themselves to a sport that's accessible to them, now it's not really accessible.
No, I mean, to give you an example, we had a young lady at Ken's when I was running the junior program, Brianna Amadon. She went on to Wichita State, which is the top Division I college for women for bowling.
Wow.
And she got a full scholarship and spent 4 years there. And we've had kids go to Temple, to you know, everywhere. They've gone everywhere. And surprisingly, we've gotten a lot of girls got scholarships.
Yeah. Yeah. So female athletes,
Right?
there you go. So, I mean, this is something we're missing the boat. I think this is something that the
Absolutely.
city government should be sort of involved in a way, not to control everything, but there are things that you can do to make sure and to work through the process. And even with a closed lane, hey, how do we get these lanes and maybe put them somewhere else if Ken's is going to go away? These kinds of things. And I know you've done some research on that.
Yes,
Um,
I called the United States Bowling Congress, and they gave me a gentleman's name out in California. Uh, he takes bowling alleys and refurbishes them, and he also reinstates them for people, and stuff like that. And I asked him to look into it, and he was going to look into it for us and see what he could do. But he thinks it's a shame that a city the size of Pittsfield does not have a 10-pin bowling alley.
Well, I did just have a conversation not too long ago with Nick Russo, and I didn't realize that Nick
Yep.
Russo bowled in high school. One of the best kept secrets out
Bowled
there.
in my league for about 10 years.
10 years. Who knew? So he's running for council, and he actually, I believe, went to school in Rochester, and Rochester actually picked up a bowling lane and put it into a new setting, and it was an old warehouse or something. And they turned it into an entertainment bowling center. So it can be done
Sure.
for sure. I mean, and there's a market for it. That's the thing. It's not like Ken's wasn't making money. They were making money. And I'm sure, profitable to some extent. It sounds like the owner just kind of is ready to hang it up. And I think this was just a series of unfortunate events to lead to this.
Yeah, we've also got Pete Marchetti, as you know, he bowled in my league for 15 years and has been helping run the junior league for the last few years. So we have a lot of people around that all say the same
So
thing.
come on, Peter, let's do something here. Peter, come on, let's go. Let's get these bowling alleys back.
It's a shame. Pittsfield, I know a lot of stuff has gone away in Pittsfield from the GE, which I worked in for years and everything else. But this is something, we used to have 3 10-pin bowling alleys at one time. We had the Stanley Club. I don't know if you remember that. That was a long time ago. I used to set pins there. Nickel a game I'd get.
That's pretty good, though. Let's see. If you do. oh, you mean a nickel a game? Like, so
Yeah,
a game is
was what the pin setter got.
not per. Wait. Just a little bowling education. So a game is the whole game. So
the whole game.
Okay. So if they, but a frame. Oh yeah. So what's a frame?
A frame is one box. You get 10 boxes in the game.
Okay. So you weren't getting a nickel a frame.
No, game.
A game. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, inflation, I guess it wasn't so bad.
That was before they had machines. I don't want to age myself, but that was before they had machines.
Man.
It was the Imperial had 10-pin bowling and candlepin bowling. And obviously Ken's came along. It was Berkshire Bowl and then Ken's Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I don't want to tell you how many candlepin lanes they used to have. My God, they had, I'll bet they had 15.
There's probably one on every corner. And then,
there was the
and then you throw bocce ball into it.
Yeah, bocce ball.
They probably, I mean, like the Italian American Club still has bocce ball, right?
And they used to have it right where the rainbow was. They used to have it right across the street. There was a bocce ball pit.
Yeah.
Down in the common.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, hopefully we can get 10-pin bowling back. Oh my gosh, I appreciate everything you're doing for it, but it is a missed opportunity, especially for the kids. And again, it's not just the kids. It's it's Peter Marchetti. Poor Peter. Where does he bowl?
Where's
Peter bowl right now?
I don't know where he's going. He's kind of lost.
Oh, poor Peter. So, all right. Well, I want to see the full backdrop there. So how does Notre Dame look this year? I don't even know when their season,
they were 10-2 this year. They made it.
That's right. They were great.
Yeah, they went to the college football playoffs, and they got a real good recruiting class coming in, but they got to pick a quarterback, and the top quarterback they got was Jack Cohn from Wisconsin. He transferred.
Okay.
So they've got a good looking team for this year. They got some great running backs.
Yep. All
And they
right.
got my support, so they're all set.
Well, of course. Well, that's always been the case. I don't know if it's always worked every year though.
No, not when Jerry Falls
I do remember was it 1988? Was that the last national championship?
Yes.
With who was on that team?
Tony Rice.
Tony Rice.
His picture's up there in back of me.
Yep.
And Lou Holtz, his picture is over here. Right down in the corner.
Good old Lou Holtz and that was
photograph of him and Tony Rice. And Rice is over here.
Yeah. And who did they win? Who did they beat in their bowl game that year?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Yeah, that was kind of, but they beat they beat everybody. Of course, they went undefeated. So they beat Michigan and USC and all those big games. So it was that was a great team. That was a great team. But that's the last time they won, right?
That's the last time they won the national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, they still had, because they don't play in a conference.
Right. So well, maybe one day again, but 10-2, not bad. We'll take it. So Lou Orazio, the legend, I thank you for your time. I wish you the best, and I'm great. It's great to see you up and about and out there walking and doing your thing. And then the Adult Baseball League starts tomorrow. Signups are still open all the way, through, you said July. So should people reach out to you, or what should they do to sign up?
All they have to do is go to our website, which is www.leaguelineup.com/ORAZL. And right on the website, it gives you a registration form and everything else.
All right, we'll put that link right there on our post here today. And Lou, I wish you the best, and definitely want to check out some of those games this year. And tell my friend Dan Valenti that you guys are playing at the American Legion over at Dalton. He can just walk over to the game. So
well, he must see us there. He must.
Maybe he can swing a bat or two. Get out there. So all right. So you have a great day, Lou. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon, man.
Okay. I hope to see you out there.